Welcome back to Scales of Fate, everyone.
Yay!
Today has been an interesting day indeed. Thank you so much for our supporters and our viewers that are watching right now. We're not going to be going into our sponsorship today. If you are interested, please look at the information for the episode down below. Follow those links there. And let's just go ahead and jump into a real quick recap. Last week on Scales of Fate, you guys had snuck yourselves and a black dragon wormling carcass back into the city of Drakehaven, which more or less, I guess, meta, you guys now understand that a dead dragon can enter the paling.
Learned that?
But you guys decided to take a rest up at the Grandspire Citadel. On the way there, the Eldritch Knights that were accompanying you stopped a group of Justice of the Peace from accosting you in the streets. You guys made it to the Grandspire Citadel, had a few brief conversations with Paula.
And Dennis. The grung.
The grung Dennis, how can I forget?
That frog dude.
Yes.
That frog dude.
Like, listening back to the episode, I can understand what he was saying, but something about in the moment, I genuinely was like, what?
It was great.
Okay.
You guys took a long napping nap at the Grandspire Citadel. A couple of you, Roscoe and Leon, who's not here currently, had a little bit of a vision, a dream,
Just a little bit of one of, you know, the moon exploding.
no big deal.
Apocalypse.
Right? No big deal.
Wow.
Yeah. Chromatic
It's
Spirals.
really beautiful.
Yeah, who cares? From there, you guys woke up, and with a little bit of deliberation in what you intended to do next, the group of you had decided that Thalner would like to revisit Stephen the Cups, maybe get in contact with Cynthea Sylcress, also known as Thea, and from there, we kind of move into where we were. You guys had just stepped out of the Grandspire Citadel. A beautiful day shining above the mountain ridge that Drakehaven rests upon. And in this moment, as you were walking away, you hear, Leon, hold on just a moment. And you turn around and you see Paula hurriedly exiting the Grandspire Citadel. Leon turns around, not really saying anything, just acknowledging her, and she says, the conditions for your release were that you were to help JJ procure his friends from the outside of the city. Under the circumstances, that you would be answering some questions to me and the rest of the Abjurai. Yeah, I guess. He kind of turns, looks at you guys. You all collectively shrug.
Sorry, I don't even know this dude.
He turns around and says, all right, Paula, I'll owe you that much, but my destiny is to be with these people, so let's make it quick. We'll make it as quick as we can as long as you answer honestly, dear. Let's move on. He turns around and walks away, and you see the two of them conversing quietly for a moment before Paula turns to the rest of you guys. If you're looking for Amara for payment, Council had just released. I don't know where she is currently, but I wanted to let you know ahead of time.
That you'd have no information about where she's at?
No, but prior she was indisposed.
Appreciate it.
Noble Roscoe.
Do you know where the council was meeting?
Of course, at the Bundesstadt.
Okay, and where is that?
And she basically kind of looks over at Leon a second and then looks over at JJ and says, JJ, if you were to inquire to the Citadel, will you please?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
You see the two of them turn around, re-enter the Grandspire Citadel, and the rest of you are up to your devices. what shall you do next?
We were planning to go to sleep in the cup.
Yes.
Something about tea?
It's my tea shop.
That leaf water.
Hot leaf water. Or cold. Some people drink it cold.
They
Not-
both, that even sounds worse.
Yeah, not usually what I'd recommend, but some people are just, they swear by it.
Alright, I'm down for drinking new stuff.
I would ask what your most popular drink is.
With my what?
It doesn't
Most
have-
popular drink.
Oh, I'll have to make you a cup.
What's it called?
It's called moon water.
So, I must ask, should we try to catch Amara while we know her general whereabouts before we go to Stephen
Do-
Cups?
Do we know her general whereabouts?
I mean, yeah, the
Was
council.
Wunderstadt.
Yeah.
That's where she was.
But it's just a drink, she said.
Yeah, and they get caught up in all sorts of what's the term I'm looking for? Lockdown or whatever. They get caught up arguing about what to do about what. But
So you think you know where we can find her?
Yeah, they might still be
yeah,
there.
she's probably around there still.
Alright, I mean, she does owe us.
Would
And-
like to get paid.
Just depends on if you guys would like money.
Yes.
I rattle my bag of dragon coins. Like, fuck, dude.
She may know what to do with those too. Not that you.
Oh, no, I know.
I mean, yeah, you.
Yes. As a matter of fact, we should go do that right now.
What's the plan?
To go to the Wunderstadt.
The Bundesstadt?
That's the one.
Okay.
The bunkers.
Under the diligent direction that JJ can guide you throughout the city and Thalner, I almost said. Thalner and Salvo, you guys would know the general direction of. Along the way there, passing through the streets, the early morning hustle of workers has already elapsed, and it's now just kind of being the regular going abouts of people in their day-to-day. Some people are now heading off to work. Some people are tending to their lawns and their gardens. You guys are up in the higher echelons of the city itself, and the direction in which you are going is continually heading higher. Along the way, you guys do see a few justices of the peace. They're mostly just posting up, tending to certain busy intersections and whatnot. In this moment, when you do recognize them from far away, are any of you doing anything?
Are me and Stack still doing the two kids in a big jacket?
Yes, you are.
Awesome.
You are a very tall Roscoe right now.
Yeah.
Roscoe.
Oh. Oh.
Alright,
already
I'm
have
kind of
it,
like
thank you, though.
steering it with my hips, I guess. I don't fucking know how he's.
No, he's just kind of moving forward. You can see like a slight glowing eye between the two folds of the jacket.
Alright,
He's watching where you're walking.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to try and not be seen by them
Okay.
for sure.
Staying inconspicuous, blending in with the crowd.
I'm walking forward confidently with my vibrant purple robe.
Okay.
I couldn't hide it if I wanted to.
Sure.
I'm bright blue. I too will. And I'm not a sneaky person, so I'll be very openly walking, but confidently, as I do.
With an essence of, I dare you to come up to us.
Morma, I don't have time to deal with you right now. I'm very busy.
And if I look wobbly and drunk normally, now riding on top of a rock, man, and
Surprisingly more stable. Surprisingly more stable.
The sway of the ocean is like the sway of the stack.
Yeah. I think from your prior breakfast, second breakfast, you're only at a buzz status right now.
it's true, I did have a lot of breakfast.
You did have a lot of breakfast. Jack, go ahead and give me a stealth check, please.
It is. I can't do math. 12.
12? Okay. First guard essentially sees someone who had steered their cart into a ditch and uncharacteristically goes and helps them pull it out of the ditch. Misses you guys. Second guard along the way
It's been one of the good ones.
is literally kind of just picking at his beard and mustache, and you see him pull up a piece of paper, like nodding at it, counting on his fingers, putting it back in his pocket, looking up in the sky. He rolled a 3 on his perception check.
Look.
Inconsequentially, you guys continue to move forward. Eventually, winding up the rocky terrain that is this mountainside, you see a large floating orb, probably about 100 feet in diameter, just slowly, listlessly rotating in a counterclockwise fashion, parts of the sun reflecting off of shiny surfaces within it, and several staircases, about 6, encompassing all around this structure that lead up to, long story short, what appears to be glimmering, shiny bridges. They don't look like they have a physical form, but Jack, Thalner, and Salvo, you guys know that these are only active when the Bundesstaat is not in session. When in session, these bridges are deactivated. There is no bridge from the staircases to this orb-like sphere. Nice. And basically what this is telling you is that there is no session being currently held.
Do I see like council members leaving or any sort of sign that like it just ended, or if it's ended like?
You do see a lot of foot traffic. If you're looking for Amara, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Or if I knew where she would normally be after. 17.
There she is.
With a 17, she has taken down most of her flowing ribbon-like garb that she tends to have when in session. But you do see the small tannish figure of Amara conversing with a taller blue-scaled dragonborn, not too far off from one of the sets of stairs.
Okay. I want to try and position like behind him, but in her line of sight, basically. Like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are the rest of you?
I mean, I'm milling about closely but aimlessly.
I would too be looking for her.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, she's over here.
Okay. So the rest of you kind of following Jack's lead. You get within about a 50-40 foot range, approaching closer. You see her eyes, like she's in the midst of a conversation, but her eyes kind of like flit off to the side and sees you. A look of recognition appears on her face. With your passive insight, Jack's pretty good. You're the best on the team. Doesn't seem panicked. Says a couple more things, has a couple of hand gestures, and walks off from this gentleman, who proceeds to continue down the track away from the rest of you. As she approaches, she says, Jack, and the rest of you guys, how goes the investigation?
Lots happened. We do have some pretty important bits of information. I don't know if this is a good place to tell. If you have someone.
Good place to talk. Best place to talk is more or less out in the open.
Maybe you don't care if we. Yeah, that's fine.
She looks around. There are like a few people wandering nearby. There seems to be a few people still wearing council-esque garb lingering in this area, and she looks back over to you and she says, best place to talk for now, and unless otherwise indicated, how about you escort me back to my chambers?
Want a cup of tea?
Oh yeah, we can meet it.
Tea?
It'd be very private.
I
My
don't know. I
t-shirt.
think we should go back to her chambers. Or is that just him?
The invitation was extended to all of you. However, tea does sound lovely. Thalner,
This is tea.
have you not had it yet?
No, I mean,
You know they can have alcohol.
I mean, I've had leaves drop in my water before, and it was kind of gross.
He hasn't been in Drakehaven long. He's not been to Steep in the Cups yet.
Are you suggesting a private tasting at Steep in the Cups?
Yeah, let's go with that one. Yeah.
Despite the circumstances, I could not pass that up.
Works for me.
Well, let's be on our way then.
Perfect.
I'm a person.
Stack your legs.
Legs don't touch snake.
I'm legs.
Does she now notice that I'm way taller than her?
You've seen her like the emotions on her face typically like are stoic, but when they happen, like when they pass, they're fleeting. Your passive insight, Roscoe, 12, not bad. She definitely did clock that you were taller.
And I have no hands coming out of the sleeves of my jacket.
Maybe you probably pull a quick little open the jacket, show stack underneath.
But she
I've been arrested for that before.
looks at you and does not address it. You've noticed that much.
He gets it.
Yeah.
I actually have the empty sleeves of my jacket tucked in the pocket.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Just kind of walking around like.
Really, really thin lower part of the forearms. Well, let's go then.
Let's be on our way. You guys proceed throughout the city. Interestingly enough, you do cross through a couple of these same intersections that you had seen Justice of the Peace on the way here, whom do not seem to be present. Walking around, you do get a couple cursory glances, a group of people walking with Amara Silverwine. It does tend to attract attention. But more or less, you guys make it all the way up to Steep in the Cups without any sort of deference. So, Thalmer, we've had you describe the inside of the shop. Will you please describe the outside of the shop?
Well, it's kind of a more crowded part of town, and so there's a lot of different shops in the area. It's in the kind of in-between part of the lower section of the city and the upper section of the city, so it's this weird blend of like, you know, cheap discount shops and like really bougie places and nice restaurants and dive bars, and so it's just this collection of different people from all walks in this area, and tucked real narrow in between one of those dive bars and a really nice clothing store is a small semi-unassuming tea shop that says Steep in the Cups with just a little teacup steaming image just above it, with some wooden double doors and some kind of smaller dingy windows in the front looking in.
And as you approach the top of the steps and kind of unlock it, Amara says, Thalmer, again, I wish under better circumstances, but to be honest, this is quite exciting.
I'm definitely glad to be back, and like you said, under better circumstances, but it will be nice to awaken the shop again. It's been closed for several days, and I'm sure people will be excited to see some activity in here.
She smiles, and you guys will hear a and she opens up, Thalmer, he opens up the door, and you guys all walk in.
It's like the soft reopening.
You guys walk in, lights are not active. Typically you guys would have either candlelight, depending on the time of day, typically evening, or you would have soft glowing orbs beset about the building in order to counteract the daylight that is moving in. Currently, shutters closed, very dark. As you walk in, there is a little bit of a kick up of dust.
Before I'll go ahead and say I'll be the last one in. Can I take a look around just to see if anyone is suspicious and seeing us go here?
Sure. As the rest of you guys kind of follow in, stack.
Right this way, sir.
Thank you.
Xeris, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Well, I'm not great at this, but I would say that is an
11.
Looking around, you don't see any justice of the peace. You do see a few people that are curious, seeing a crowd of people walking into Steep of the Cups, especially with Amara Silverwine in tow. Nothing out of the ordinary. A older man with a kind of hunched back and a grizzled beard, just walking with hands behind his back, like bobbing his head up and down as he observes you. A younger, gnomish woman scuttling around with papers in her hand nervously and trying to get from one point to another. A taller, half-elven woman walking into the clothing shop next door, but nothing conspicuous.
Okay. And then I close the door behind me and lock it with whatever locking mechanism there may be.
The bolt.
And as you walk in,
No, I just twisted it.
Amara kind of like folds her hands into her robe and politely goes and sits down at one of the cushioned seats nearby to the actual bar part of Steep in the Cups, and looks around and smiles and says, "Okay, so here we are in private. Please update me on what the 5 of you have learned."
Almost out of habit, I go up to like my usual table that's like not too far off, and then just grab a chair, sit on it, straddle. Well, I don't even know where to begin. Do you have that letter, Grant?
I do. And down there, pulls out the letter and kind of sets it on the table, and then ventures over to behind the counter to start preparing some tea for everybody.
You guys hear the clattering of cups and metallic devices starting up and whirring.
And I'll kind of chime in at times, sharing the storytelling of, well, we were inside of, I don't know if I would talk about Malekith, but anyways, I will. We were at the Is it where it was? Yeah, we were at the Is it inside of Malekith's tower, and one thing led to another, and we were shot out of Drakehaven. But, as luck would have it, we stumbled upon a few things. This letter being one of them. I think you'd be interested in reading it.
She eyes it sitting on the counter. Notes. There's a sharp look in her eyes. She notes the spiral that is etched on the back of it. Looks back at you.
Do you recognize this symbol?
According to my sources, it is relevant to those who attacked my parade.
Yes, they call themselves the Chromatic Spiral.
Fitting.
Well, what's weird is that emblem on that letter contains the notes of I don't know what to say, the old man's still alive.
She, scrunches her eyebrows a little bit, which old...
Should probably read the letter.
I unscrew my flask and drink from it, and then it's
Empty.
empty. I'm like, fuck. Slap it down. The old coot. No, that's okay. I'm sorting out this stuff.
As you're doing that,
She's trying to
slowly, she takes her hand and palms the letter and opens it up in front of her, still paying attention to you.
That has everything you need to know, but Sylcress, the old coot done ixnayed himself. That came out wrong. He faked it.
Allegedly.
I don't know how to verify. I don't know if y'all can determine the handwriting or anything, but I don't know why the symbol of that cult is embossed onto it.
She begins reading it. Thalner, will you please give me a nature check at advantage to brew some delicious tea?
Hot leaf water.
Good.
Ooh.
You also may bardically inspire... Oh, no, you can't inspire yourself, unfortunately. Dang.
Advantage for having
Sure,
awesome
it is
tea.
advantage.
Already had advantage.
It was at advantage.
He's
One's a
made
one.
tea many
Yeah, I'll
times.
take the one that's not a 1, so that's going to be 9.
Okay. You begin fussing with a bit of the ingredients that, to your nose, out of date. You would not sell this to the public. From here, you may either choose to continue making the tea as is, or go and look for more contained, fresher goods in the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna redirect from trying to use the fresh ingredients and go to our back stocks of like the dried stuff that we usually keep for added flavor to teas, and instead brew a tea from just those. That has good flavor, but maybe not the fresh like green tea leaves that I would typically use.
Okay, so you essentially scrap this project, clean it out, get it ready for the next one, and go ahead and give me another nature check at advantage. The DC is a little bit higher because this is not your prime stock.
Okay. 17.
17?
18.
18? Okay. 17, 18 will pass. This is not something that you would typically serve up on the menu, and as you're making it, you're kind of doubting yourself, waiting until the temperature cools to the perfect amount, allowing the initial setting of the tea, letting the heat kind of absorb into the pack, and then dipping it back in. And as you finish it, you smell it. It smells wonderful. You take a sip. You need to add this to the menu. This is delicious. But you do craft-a-fine tea. And she finishes reading in this as you kind of finish up what you're doing, and says, "Where did you find this letter?"
Outside of the wall.
Cave outside the panther.
Waterfalls.
How? She kind of puts her hand to her head. She says, "This looks like something he would have left on his desk or on his person.
Or like
you found this outside of the city?"
Yeah, in like a vine chest under a waterfall. That's where I would have hid it. It was a
Just
great
past the
spot.
toilet river.
So we had escaped Malekith's tower.
We got shit out of the tower.
Malachi.
Sorry. We had left Malachi's tower through the sewer, essentially, through the toilet system.
So Roscoe has exorbitantly told.
You smell all right.
A little bit of, prestidigitation was able to take care of that, but we found ourselves in a small pond off some sconces. And
A tarn.
a tarn, yes. And
You guys hear knocking on the window of the front of the shop.
I'll get it. They're probably wondering if we're open again.
As you're approaching,
Me and Stack kind of come up behind her slowly.
Yeah, and
These rocks sound aggressive.
yeah,
I'm not opening the door. I'm looking out the window.
you look out of the window. There's 2 justices of the peace on the doorstep and 3 out on essentially in the roadway. Who is it?
I'm gonna ready the spell.
It's justice of the peace.
I think they probably know me less. Maybe you can pretend like I'm a potential buyer to get the establishment from me. You should give me a private tour.
Or maybe because this is my shop, I'm just here cleaning things up, and most of you guys can hide downstairs.
That didn't work well for your father. Just saying.
That's
They
true.
don't like your kind, man.
That's true.
I think this sounds good. He looks very fancy right now.
Private tasting for Amara?
To
Awesome.
facilitate the sale of my shop.
Do they like
That
Aura?
works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Okay, I'm selling the shop to you. Amara's helping facilitate because I'm
She's no.
bankrupt.
She's gonna miss the shop when you're not.
She's the
owning it
financier.
Sure.
We'll all hide.
She
Yeah.
wanted to try it before.
Alright, just break it down.
I open the door.
We're downstairs.
Okay, you guys rush
I have a
downstairs.
spell.
Those
Hold the door open.
final moments, scrabbling, a couple of chairs. You open the door.
And very firmly stand in the doorway initially.
Okay. Standing there, door all the way open. most of
Cracked,
it
literally
cracked.
just like my shoulder width.
Okay, what do you say?
Can I help you?
State your business.
Yeah, you You're probably one of the two owners of this establishment, right?
Yes, Thalner.
Kind of looks over, and you see the other one kind of jotting something down on a pad of paper. We heard tell of a couple of people entering this shop. Strange menagerie. They here with you now?
Yeah, I'm trying to clean up the place and sell it now that my father, the other owner of the establishment, has been arrested.
Right. Why don't we come in, take a look? There's a couple of people about that we're looking for. Seem to fit the description that we were told. He begins stepping forward and pushing the door.
Don't mind the mess, it's been closed for a few days.
Okay. He kind of pushes past you. The three in the roadway stay there. The two, one with a notepad just scribbling away, follows the other larger one, more broad-shouldered, and they walk in, see Amara sitting at a table. She smiles politely and waves at them, and they get a strange look on their face and look around.
As they enter into the room and their backs are turned to me, I'm going to point to the door that leads downstairs and psychically communicate to Xeris. They're inside the shop taking a look around. Try and hide as best you can.
Okay. Xeris, you do pick that up.
Okay, and I'm able to respond.
Or at least you can try.
But is there, quick question, is this like, so if we're downstairs, is it a lower story? Are there floorboards? Can I see up through that all?
You had entered into a kitchen,
Okay.
and when Thalner had pointed you go downstairs and pointed that direction, it was into a kitchen. It confuses you at first, but you're intelligent enough to see another doorway within the structure. There's two doorways, one going outside, one within the structure. You assume that the other doorway would lead downstairs if Thalner was telling you to go that way.
Okay.
But that downstairs area is kind of just like a concrete basement directly under the kitchen. It's not like a full...
But the floors for the store that we're on are floorboards
Yes.
wood, so I could essentially see through some cracks.
No, it's not that dingy of a place where like there's cracks in the floorboard. There is
just strips of wood, just like in between the pieces
you
of
can't
wood.
see up into the room above.
We're also not underneath the main floor.
And it's just
Like
under the kitchen.
Main floor, kitchen, you're here.
Yes.
Okay, and so there's no underneath for where you got it, 10-4.
So the Justice
Okay.
Peace walk in like, oh, thank goodness, a third set of eyes in here, especially Justice Peace. I'm really worried about buying this place, knowing what's been going on here and the reputation it's gotten.
They didn't notice you at first, and they kind of like look over and they go, all right.
Yes. Have you guys come in here before and been a customer? Because I don't know if I want to invest in a place that's had such bad publicity lately.
You seem familiar.
Oh, you might know me. I'm a local investor that's come in. I've been buying up properties around town. You've probably seen me at the council offices signing up some new documents.
Can we have inspiration, please?
Do you have inspiration already? I was going to make you give me a deception check at disadvantage, so this is now a deception flat roll, if you would like to use the inspiration.
You got some halfling trickery, or your
It's only charisma and
persuasion, not deception.
Oh no.
So a disadvantage?
Unless you use your...
Unless it's disadvantage currently,
I'll
unless
use
you
my
use
inspiration.
your inspiration.
It's a 17.
He still has a very strange look in his eye, but he kind of his first approach was getting much closer to you, and his steps slow. Oh, you're gonna buy the place off a poor old.
Whoa! I haven't agreed to it yet. We've got this Mara lady here who's vouches for it and has been a customer here for a while, but between you and me, I think they're kind of working together. So it's great to have someone like you come in and give me an honest opinion on the spot.
Bragging on it.
Sure. And you hear him whisper something. Passive perception, Roscoe. You hear him basically say, anything else.
Hey, you're not trying to buy this place out from under me, are you? Because I was here first. That's your business partner.
I am not in the business of purchasing things. I am in the business of protecting the city.
Oh, well then hopefully we have a good partnership moving forward if I do purchase the place.
Sure.
I don't want to happen again what happened last time.
Sir, I will need you to give me just a moment. This is not a matter of commerce. So if you don't mind.
In fact, it is a matter of commerce. I'm in the middle of my business deal, and I'm a very busy man.
You see him get a
So if there's any way we can speed this forward, I'll gladly meet you at the station later. But I've got 3 other places to look at today, and my schedule is very high.
Thalner, was it?
Yes,
Please
sir.
contain your buyer.
I need to
Excuse me, I do
shop.
not work for her. I am an established businessman. And if I need to make a donation into your place in order to facilitate...
Listen, you're about 2 more sentences away from obstructing justice.
Well, then I have one less sentence to say. Please, just bear with us.
Sure. Not another word, please. Thalner. And Amara. And Amara just kind of pipes up. I was here hoping to get one last cup of tea before the establishment was sold, as I do not know the caliber of this buyer.
I dare say.
Rightfully so.
So, as I said, we were here investigating the whereabouts of some people that fit the bill, as it were. Considering there's only the 3 of you in here right now, and we had reports of more, we need to further investigate your shop.
Goodness. Well, if it's any help to you, the shop was closed for several days, and when I returned, the back door was ajar, possibly from the police investigation. I closed it and locked it and searched the place myself when I got here and found no one, but there may have been people in here previously.
He kind of gets a furrowed brow and he leans over to the other one that's writing things down. Who was the regiment that was assigned to inspect the shop? Guitar. I think Aaron was there. Aaron. Of course. Regardless, that does make sense. Regardless, will you please, just for my own sake to report back to the captain, might I see your shop?
Oh, I absolutely have a look around. I'm here to help, and of course I don't want there to be any tension with myself and the law. I just want to move on with my life from the mess that this shop has created. So feel free, have a look around.
Real quick, give me an overall deception check for this interaction.
With pleasure.
With please deceive.
That's an 18.
5 on the die for 18.
5 on the die for 18. Will you please explain to those listening why?
So with our level up to 3rd level, I get an ability called Silver Tongue. Anything with a persuasion or deception check, 9 or lower is considered a 10 on the die. I have a +8 modifier in persuasion and deception. So minimum 18 on those rolls.
Even with a nat 1.
He kind of looks at you and nods and says, well, after you. Also, what you're brewing over there smells lovely.
Oh, would you like a glass while we walk around? I just made it. It's fresh. And, you wouldn't want to miss out. It's going to be gone soon.
All right. It's been a while since I've had a good one.
Good a tour. I've been waiting for that.
I said not another word.
I wasn't talking to you, sir.
Hey, what was your name one more time? I'm so sorry.
Jameis.
Jameis, come over here. Let's talk about tea, right? You're wanting to buy the shop. Let's talk about tea.
Yes. If the clientele seems to enjoy it, I'll keep that on the menu.
Of course, yeah. And here, I'll pour you a little out of mine, and we'll talk about the subtle notes, and the 2 of you kind of are...
Ooh, I've got to say, I'm not usually one for this, but that is lovely.
And Thalner, you and the other gentleman, the one taking notes stays back, kind of finding a seat and watching Roscoe and Amara right now. They put their notebook down and are resting an elbow on the table with a hand on their chin, and the two of you walk back into the kitchen, and the former looks around and says, "All right, show me this door. Like this one right over here."
Yeah, so I go up to that door that leads out into that.
I drop my cup. Fucking shatters.
He found you see.
Oh, that's hot. Oh, God. Oh.
Let me go take care of him real quick. I really need to keep him happy, so he buys my shop. He's offering so much money.
Sure.
And I kind of grab some towels.
Well, I think I'd have to. This is not a safe place. My word.
18.
Okay.
With a 2 on the die.
You see that he's really hesitant and looking at the door, kind of handling the knob itself. It doesn't seem, he's testing it to see if it just pops open, essentially. And then after you say, "Let me go handle that," he looks over, you see him eyeing the door towards the basement, and then he looks at you and says, "Okay, you quick then."
I quickly grab some towels from the kitchen and rush back out to the front.
Dare I say, this cup had a crack in it. My word, are you trying to do this on purpose?
I bring the towels over, and while handing point to Roscoe to whisper, "What are you trying to accomplish?"
Trying to distract that guard.
He's still gonna look downstairs.
Not if I get him up here and piss him off enough.
Then what?
Please. What are you trying to do? I need judging of the peace here. I need someone to bring this up. I want to put litigation on you. That burned me quite badly. Where was that gentleman I was talking to?
Trying to put like cold towels. Like, no,
No,
sir, I'm sorry,
get
it's
off me. I don't
fine.
want to show the burns.
The rest of you downstairs hear boots, and you hear of the basement door. If you're trying to hide down here,
So there was a door to the kitchen, and then there's a door to the stairs that lead down to the basement?
yes,
Okay.
it's like one flight, small landing, another flight, basement.
Okay. I wanted to minor is that minor illusion? Where did that go? Silent image, that's what I could find.
Like you did in the
Silent image a wall where the door would be.
Which door?
The door to the basement.
Before we had
There's
gotten
no
to
door
the
there.
kitchen.
Before you had gotten into the kitchen?
When I heard
Okay.
When I gave them the heads up.
This hits a little bit of wishy-washy, wobbly, timey-wimey shit. There was a lot of narrative that had already occurred.
To
and
be
he had
fair,
entered the kitchen.
he didn't have a chance to say this is what I
That
would have
was-
done
yeah.
before that progressed.
Okay.
So there wasn't like a what is in response
It
to
was-
the message.
it was going to
That
be
would
a
have
don't
been.
worry about
That's
it.
kind of what I was trying to
I
get him to
see.
do. Was
I
like,
see.
hey, they're going to be coming. They're going to be looking in the place. Hide.
Okay.
Okay, hide the door.
Okay. I'll pull that back a little bit. Silent image, in order to ascertain if it is true or untrue, if it's real or not real, it is a check against your spell save DC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the check?
investigation?
An investigation check against your spell save DC. What is your spell save DC?
15.
16 on the die.
Okay, inspiration.
You're burning your inspiration on it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dude never looked at that back door. He saw a kitchen and another door leading to the outside, tested it, looked around, kind of looked under a couple of sinks and stuff, and
He could have gone into the kitchen. It was just the door downstairs in the kitchen.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the basement door.
right. He went into the kitchen. He did not see the door leading to the basement, is what I'm saying.
everyday good old fashioned.
This time he got a 5 on the die, and just being open with you guys, he has a +5 to his modifier in investigation. Yeah. So
This must be the notepad one.
no, it's not the notepad one, but he walks in,
He's been really soothed by the tea.
clattering and clamoring about. He checks the door, hears that, kind of looks around a little bit more, inspects a little bit. You guys do hear footsteps above you, and then you hear it leading back out into the main sitting area. And he comes in. He's just like, "All right, nobody in the back. And you hear the other one like, "Hey, boss, this guy, he's an anomaly, man. I don't know who he is." And he,
I didn't know that had what was going on, so I'm still going to go with that I did the T drop.
yes. Walks in, sees the two of you kind of messing with this mess that has been made. Amara's just looking up at him, smiling pleasantly, like, "It's fine." And he kind of looks up, had the tea saucer in his hand, hadn't touched it yet, picks it up.
Poison.
It is I'll be the first of the justice to admit, it is a right shame that this shop is going. Well.
If it helps any, that door leads to the alleyway between this shop and it's kind of got a hallway to it, the next shop over, that dive bar. It leads back behind Connects and right behind their restaurant goes for a ways. There may be some people hiding out. I know transients hang out in that area a lot. They may have seen someone or know something in that area.
Right. My only suggestion to that is get better locks for that side door.
Well, it doesn't matter now. Get better locks for that side door.
Oh, yes, because I see it's been kicked in by the justice, so I'll have to do that anyways.
It's not kicked in.
Kick out, whatever you would call it.
They kind of quizzically look at Roscoe one more time.
But look, it seems like you really enjoy this tea.
Jameis.
And
Jameis.
And me taking over, I need someone that has a good taste. So I'd be willing to offer you, basically, free drinks on the house if you help be my quality control with the tea.
Give me a persuasion check. I mean, this is borderline deception.
Or performance.
Oh, I'm going to go with persuasion.
I stopped listening after you said persuasion.
Alright, so that is a 13 with a persuasion. But if it's a fail, please let me know.
Hold on. It's fail.
Alright, well then I'm going to use one of my new skills.
Ooh.
I have Draconic Presence. If you fail a charisma, an intimidation, or persuasion check, you can use your reaction to re-roll the check. Once this feature turns a failure into a success, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest.
Okay. So as you say that, he says, "I honestly don't know if you have the caliber to make this kind of tea."
I agree. That's why I need someone like you to help me out.
Hit me with that.
Persuasion is now 17.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "To be honest with you, I have no caliber for creating tea, but the only help I can ensure, as long as you are not causing problems within this area, is that I will send my people your way."
That would be most appreciative. I want to keep this an up-and-up type of shop where people feel safe.
And Amara says, "Well, I feel safer already. Thank you so much, gentlemen." And she nods, and the two of them look at her and they nod, and the one kind of inquisitor type looks back at you, Thalner, and says, "And you didn't see anyone other than the three of you entering your shop?"
I haven't been here in days. I came back with these two to try and make a deal to just take this place off my hands.
Give me a deception check.
Okay.
I would argue that was a persuasion check.
Whichever.
You weren't lying.
Either way, pick your poison.
Ooh, that's going to be 23.
Insight of 19. He says, "Sorry to bother you. Sorry for your loss. By the way, if you haven't heard yet, primary owner of the shop, Tyro, is unfortunately being put to the death soon."
Was there a trial of any sorts?
There is one impending, but evidence against him says that he was the one that had poisoned the patriarch, Wygraf himself.
What evidence, might I ask? And I cast Detect Thoughts.
You hear first on the surface level that Theo's gonna have his way. It's bullshit either way.
It does have a save on it. When does that activate?
What's the save? Yeah, it activates a. Well, the save is only when you delve deeper.
Delve
I
deeper.
believe.
Okay. Because I knew there was like 2 different aspects to it. It's a new spell. Bear with me.
While this is happening, Roscoe hearing this.
Jameis.
Roscoe hearing this asshole pretend to be Jameis is now
Okay, if you probe deeper.
getting into his balance. He really wants to. This fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, your dad's getting fucking
Like
killed.
you're kind of tightening your legs up
Yeah, I'm
around
trying really
Stack,
hard not to.
and you feel like this slight.
He's tapping out. Stack's tapping
I'm
out.
trying to release it. I just. Take a sip of tea.
Take a sip of the tea. It's delicious.
It actually helps.
Yeah. Surface thought. It's basically the same question that I asked Theo, and his response is, the captain of the Justice of the Peace has all of that information. It is private for those who are judging or deeming judgment. Unfortunately, I cannot assist with that.
Who is deeming judgment? If I have evidence of otherwise, I'd like to be able to share.
If you have evidence of otherwise, please bring it up to the Bastille Caverns, but it's Theo Azarius himself.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
He's like, asshole.
That'll be all. Thank you for the delicious tea. How much do I owe you? I know you're selling the shop, but I feel obliged.
It's on the house. It's not our most top quality. I wouldn't feel right taking money from you to give you that cup.
1 platinum. I'm just kidding.
He kind of nods, looks over at the other guy, hops off the stool, starts walking out the door. He begins walking out the door as well, and he turns back and looks around. Passive insight, both Roscoe and Thauner. You get the sense that this guy really enjoyed coming to this shop.
I mean, I imagine I can still hear him say it in his head.
Yeah, you hear him. Yeah, you still have Detect Thoughts active, actually. He says, man, this is where I met Millie and
No.
all those times before I became a cadet. And he looks around a little bit more, and he looks at you, Thauner, and he says, it's a shame. And he walks out.
Damn right.
Roscoe didn't hear that, so I still think he's a fucking dick.
You personally do. Yeah. You hear Amara.
It's fine. We're pretty good at this stuff.
What?
I know.
Pretty good at this stuff?
Man, I thought I was about to crack
What were you doing?
Well, to be fair, I was falling in love with tea because, man, that stuff is really, actually really
You
good.
guys are
You got any
hearing this
whiskey?
below
Oh,
levels.
would it? Do you think it would mix? Oh,
The tea is very citrusy, with a little bit of star anise and cardamom and cinnamon flavors. A lot of those
I might
dry
actually
herbs
buy
I
the
had.
shop. I think that would sell.
I mean, of course you're still hired, but
But before we go, I would like some of those tea leaves. You've changed my mind.
They're gone, Roscoe.
Oh man, I get into it. My bad.
I was being quiet.
Dude, Stack it's MVP, man.
Stack is
The best
inspiration.
legs I've ever had. I
For
would've
not
all-
saying anything.
My legs would have been shaking, but you were stable.
I'm stable.
Did we hear that, us three? Did
Yeah.
we hear everything that was
Yeah,
going on?
you heard
Okay, that's
everything. You
what I
heard
thought.
them leaving. It would. You guys would say it's safe to say to leave the basement.
Yeah, I'm kind of coming over the door to come knock on it. And
I go and lock the front door.
You go unlock.
You go to mess with the door and it's not there right now.
I know that it is there, though, so I just reach for it
Reach for the doorknob.
anyways.
I think I've seen this trick before.
And easily without roll, I guess, break through my image.
But the image is silent and incorporeal, so he does reach up, grab the doorknob, pull it out.
Open a door from the wall.
Yeah, I have
There's
true
still a
knowledge
fake
that there is a
image
door
there.
wall there.
I come through and
quick thinking, Xeris. I was really hoping that you'd be able to come up with something to hide you guys down there.
I figured it worked last time, man. Pretty dumb.
Worst case, we always have Bonk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was ready to...
I was about to go to jail for you guys.
We wouldn't have been going to jail.
And I don't know if
You didn't know what I was about to do with this guy.
They were about to die.
I was about to go to jail.
I don't know if it was for us. I think you just wanted to
Let
fight.
you go back in there.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I really, more than that, I wanted to piss this guy off more. That was pretty rad.
Yeah. Go to jail for us.
Amara,
Yes.
I heard what was being spoken of. I apologize. What's your dad's name again?
Tyra.
Tyra. I heard them talking about Tyra being put to death soon. This letter could clear his name, but we've been worried about providing it ourselves. Is this something that maybe you could bring up?
You're more than absolutely correct. The only thing that would absolve Tyra's sentence, other than my sneaking suspicion of corruption being immovable, is that this handwriting must be identified by a member of the Sylcress family. This could have been penned by anybody. And in fact, I'm very curious and estranged as to how this ended up outside of the city. And if it was so important, why was it there? And
Maybe that guy escaped through the toilets too.
maybe.
Plus, one thing is, I've dealt with corrupt justices before, and even if you have strict evidence, I don't know if it's going to save them.
That's my fear.
I think we need to find this dude who's still alive.
I don't think it's enough, but it could stall him.
If the murder victim walks in on court day, I mean, that's going to be something.
I don't think there's going to be a court date, and I don't think that we have time to find Wygroff and bring
Get
him
what
back.
you're saying. It's a breakout.
Didn't that gentleman say that it would be a couple days from now at most?
He said soon.
Damn.
Amara, did you mention that you might be able to stall this a little bit if we were able to find some evidence?
Yes, evidence is important. Zulgara is the captain of the Drake Hand, and he's also the captain of the Justice of the Peace. Hand in hand. Zulgara has been on a rampage of late of thwarting the draconic influence from impeding on our borders lately, but maybe I could talk to him and at least get him to have a pause on the indictment that is to happen to Tyro.
At least a short period of forbearance while actual evidence can be found beyond this.
And we may have someone in the family who can corroborate that this is a genuine letter from Wygroff himself.
I think that would be extremely beneficial, especially from Zulgara's point. Zulgara is not the wisest man, but he's very capable, and that has been his station within militant control. More evidence will help sway his mind.
Now, if I remember, they're saying Theo's heading up his investigation. You know, I could take over the team and go distract that guy for a while.
Distract?
You know, your plot is seeming more and more delightful.
It's actually
Right?
starting to sound better, I will agree.
I was never against it.
Is it just me, or is
I was ready to kill
Theo
this
a
person.
greedy, money-loving bastard?
He's a bastard.
I don't know him well enough.
I saw his armor. He had it shine like every day.
He told the other of the Justice of the Peace to quarantine me and make sure that I didn't leave the city.
He told me a lizard like me would never be in the Justice of the Peace.
He told me I could save the city.
I have not interacted with him.
He sucks.
He hasn't actually ever talked to me before, so that might be beneficial.
You just want to give him
He
first
also
dragon.
hasn't.
I do indeed want to give him Cursed Dragon Gold.
He also hasn't spoken to Jameis, entrepreneur and tea connoisseur.
JJ, are you okay?
I don't think
You've been
I also think I need to get my legs some pants.
rather quiet.
I love Jameis.
I don't know. There's a lot going on, but not a lot to move on.
I think if we can give this letter to Cynthia Sylcress, to vouch to, what's his name, Zulgara, that this letter is genuine and that they need to further investigate whether or not the death was actually... Where's his body? Where's the corpse?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
You gotta have some type of... Does it work? How does it work here?
Oh,
Guilty
corrupt-
until proven innocent?
Yeah, corrupt justices don't need evidence.
Not against lizards, as it were.
They're
You
kobolds.
said
Yes,
Cynthia.
that was the emphasis.
Amara, bright-eyed, looks up at you, Thunder. You said Cynthia, right?
Yes.
I've seen her perform before.
She's really not dancing.
She's been here in my shop to perform several times, and we've had some conversations, and after the death of White Drop, she expressed to me that she did not at all agree that it would be Tyro to do this. And she's had so many long conversations with him over cups of tea, and she asked me to look into it and swore that she would try to find a way to clear his name as well.
Given that, I can send her a message and maybe arrange a meeting.
I would greatly appreciate that. I was just going to run around and try and find her.
Seeming as time is at the essence, I'll send her a message. And you see her kind of pulling her hands out of the ribs that were like resting. The tea cup very empty. She enjoyed it and was nervously drinking while everyone was talking.
Like, ding, 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 ding.
But she kind of takes her hands out of her robes again, and a few silver strands pop up that kind of weave around the sides of her head and focus in back in her mouth. You see a few words kind of mumbling, but no sound coming out, and then you see her nod once more, and she says, "If we remain here, Cynthia can meet us in a moment."
Maybe she should not meet at the front door?
I should go meet her out by the back entrance to the dive bar.
Where I told the Justice of the Peace to go look?
Isn't that a bad move?
Thank you, Stack.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was just thinking.
Maybe, would you be able to ask her to come in disguise of some kind?
Sure.
Just unrecognizable as a member of the Sylcress family.
Absolutely. You see her, once again, the magic ebbs and flows throughout the air, and you hear her say, "It was kind of curt, but she said that she wouldn't do something so audacious. Essentially, I had told her to be more inconspicuous about it."
Okay.
She sounded angry.
They're a prideful lot. Most of them, at least. Snooty, rich.
Or
Well.
snooty, oh man, I don't know, maybe I should go do my thing, 'cause I can't take any more of these snooty rich people.
You played one pretty well.
Can we play tic-tac-toe?
You want to learn how to jig?
What is jig?
I start tapping my feet.
It's a small tool for cutting out shapes of wood.
I don't know a lot about wood, more about rocks.
Stack just looking between Tahoe explaining that and Roscoe like dancing around and stuff like
In fact, yeah, I pull out like my like woodcarver's toolkit. I'm like, yes, this is a jig. Blink, 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 blink.
Yeah, just like blink, 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 blink.
Morse code.
Amara essentially says, I sent the message, hopefully she'll be
Yeah,
here
I guess we'll see.
And from there, let's go ahead and take a break.
Woo!
Break time. Thank you guys for watching us. Thank you so much for supporting us. And we'll see you here in about 15 minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to Scales of Fate, where some really chaotic stuff happens in Deep in the Cups. Okay. So, where we left, you guys were waiting for Cynthia Sylcress to come up to the Steep in the Cups. Without really saying the elapsed time in which it takes for her to get there, what are you guys doing right now?
Yeah, so I want to say, now, there was one other matter that I wanted to discuss other than this letter. We also found a hefty amount of platinum, and through my detection of magic, and with the assistance of Salvo here as well, we found that this platinum is imbued with evocation magic, which seems to be sourced from a black dragon of some kind.
She takes a look at it. And you're showing her a few pieces of the platinum.
Yes.
She takes a couple of them. They're moving in her hand. Gets a strange look on her face.
Well, willing to die for it, pretty much.
We were actually attacked by a wormling, which
I threw this coin on the ground and it went right for it.
A wormling dragon of what color?
Black.
She takes a deep breath, sits back in her chair a little bit, is continuing to hold these coins, crushes her hand together and puts them back on the table, hear a clattering sound. These coins were with the letter that you had found.
Yeah.
along with a few other items, some magical footwear. A tankard was also magical. And this gem as well.
Beautiful.
I think so too.
I have a horrible thought in my head that, a suspicion of all people tells me that maybe Wygroff was not prioritizing the safety of the city and may have been possibly a part of the Chromatic Dragon cult.
This Chromatic Spiral that you spoke of.
Yes, that's the one.
It's the only thing that doesn't make sense. Like, why would it be on the letter?
Yeah, it's on his letterhead. So.
Along with the dragon summoning coins
But I mean,
in his possession.
about the safety, I mean, he did seem concerned about the balance of the something and others, the things, seals, coins, whatever.
He also dumped them.
And if we're reading between the lines here, I think the justice of the peace is clearly involved. They seem to be covering up for his death, that they may or may not know themselves.
You guys
actually
see,
attacked.
as Xeris is speaking, and she's staring at these coins, eyes darting back and forth between the letter and the coins. Like, her complexion is very caramel in color, freckled. Her eyes are grayish, silvered. There is almost like a light, a silvery flash within her irises, and she seems very uncomfortable, kind of like scoots back in the seat and moves back a little bit and looks back up at the rest of you guys and says, I think that this matter is far deeper than I could have prior surmised. I should leave soon. I need to speak with Paula. She seems very uncomfortable and aghast.
Are you okay? Is everything alright?
No,
Clearly there's some...
Did we do something wrong?
No, you did everything right. As far as an investigative team goes, all of you are doing everything right. I will wait until Cynthia is here. I will hear out the rest of this conversation, but it seems that I need to, for lack of a better term, accelerate contingency plans.
Good.
Well, you employed us to look into this situation, and now we are very much involved. And I would hope that if you have additional information about what may be going on and we may be walking into, you would share that with us for our own safety.
for the good of Drakehaven.
she gets really quiet. And anyone that would like to participate may roll an insight.
I guess I care about her enough to
16.
go on inside.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
16.
A dirty natural one.
Oh.
What? A dirty natural one. Okay.
It's natural and dirty.
Xeris, you seem to think that she's concerned about not having enough tea.
Looking into an empty cup.
It's old Zeus.
Yeah, she does pick up the cup and like look into it.
Turn me back into the old me.
Because I've seen quite a few mutinies happen, and kicking out the leader who's hoarded a bunch of stuff is not that uncommon. So I agree, this dude could have been involved like deeply. Of course he's going to ditch the coins. He's outside the paneling. No one's going to take those with him.
Roscoe prattles off, and real quick, let me just remember: 16 for Jack, 17 for Salvo, 16 for Roscoe. What did you get, Tyler?
16.
16? Okay.
Stop worrying about the tea, Amara.
With the 16s, you can see that there is very obviously something that is bugging her outside of all of this. The 17 is not too much higher, but with that, you see that her focus has been on, like, the coins is one matter. She's been more focusing on the symbol of the spiral on the letter.
Checks out.
And she replies, "There are matters at hand that I have intentionally requisitioned you guys to investigate. Those matters I do not feel at liberty to share just yet, but I will say yes, they do put you in danger."
Discretion is advised as per usual, but I guess a little bit more so is what you're saying.
Yes. In fact, I had prior aforementioned said that per information that I had garnered as something significant to this investigation, I would give 50 gold. So, and she pulls out a small satchel, sets it on the table next to the platinum. There's that. This black dragon wormling carcass. Real quick, where is this being held?
Paula has it?
It's,
In the
Paula has it.
it's on ice at the
cryogenic chamber.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. With that being involved, if you would like payment for the carcass, that carcass will no longer belong to you in the future.
I don't need it.
With us.
I killed a dragon and I need cash now.
Call J.G. Drackworth.
Sorry.
No, that was very good. If you don't already have inspiration, please take it. She looks at you, Salvo, and says, "Of course."
I'm speaking, I don't know if I'm speaking for the whole group here, but
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have
No,
no
we
use
all
for
look
a
around.
dragon
yeah.
corpse.
Get that thing away from me.
It's filled
Money,
with
though,
cash
I can
flow.
use.
Exactly.
Reaches into
Take what I needed.
what appears to be a scrollster-esque looking side bag. There is a book within it that she has not touched, and above it and on the sides of it there are scrolls just kind of lined within it. She reaches into the book side of the bag. Underneath the book you see the pages kind of folding out of the top side of it. Reaches her hand in and pulls out 5 platinum and sets them on the table.
Is that 50 gold each?
50 gold in a bag, and it was not in the prior.
For information, each dose of
So there's
information.
a bag of 50 gold.
Yes, there's a bag of 50 gold, and she puts 5 platinum on the table. Interestingly enough, passive perception being JJ, Roscoe, and Salvo, You guys can see that this platinum sitting on the table is much brighter than the other platinums that you guys had brought to the table.
Now I see 5 coins here, and that's greatly appreciated. However, there were 6 of us that took down this dragon. Now, you hadn't previously hired the other individual, but he was actually the one who dealt the killing blow to the vicious beast. Is there any way that we might be able to consider him in this transaction?
Speaking of Leon, the half-kind, being honest with you, Leon is within Paula's sphere of influence. I cannot assure that he will be continue to be included in your group's endeavors. It really is up to how the Abjurai deem the safety of this individual for the city. But unfortunately, the only thing I could offer further than money, which, as you see on the table, I am tapped out currently.
Half-kind.
Half-kind referring to an anomaly of a humanoid that we are unfamiliar with.
An individual afflicted by draconic influence.
I think
No different from the rest of us.
I think I see where you're going with this, Thalner.
It's a placeholder term. I wouldn't weigh too much into it.
I will, and I would advise you to give him the benefit of the doubt.
He can have my coin. It's not that big a deal. 5 platinum for a dragon. Well,
And, yeah, at this point it's not about the money, it's more about Leon was a
out.
hero.
He'll be out in no time. He's a smart guy.
We'll take it as a you owe him.
Thalner, give me a persuasion check.
$22.
DC in that moment was 20. She looks at you and almost regrettably says, there are many things moving on about this city, and he is not the first half-kind. Therefore, because he has shown the most affinity and proclivity to aiding Drakehaven's defense, the only thing I can currently offer is a spell scroll of my own or a promise for monetary gains in the future.
The scroll will do just fine.
In lieu of your coin.
The scroll will do just fine.
In lieu of your coin.
The scroll will do just fine. What's the scroll?
I see that Xeris is eager.
It'll do fine.
Thalner, more directly, is this okay with you?
I'm now less so focused on what he gets out of this transaction and what happens to him during his apparent interrogation. Kobolds were also looked at as a threat when first arriving to Drakehaven, as I understand it, and are now, by a good amount of people, recognized as just normal individuals looking to live their lives. And while there may be some questions about his presence and physical appearance, cut him some slack.
I don't speak on behalf of all of Drakehaven. Obviously, we've got a long ways to go in that regard, but as far as Grandspire is concerned, they did look at him quite differently whenever he first came in there, but after me, Paula, and his conversation, they did view him in a little bit of a better light as far as he's cooperative, there's valuable information there. And
Absolutely.
He's proven himself.
He's a good man.
Pertaining to what information is accrued from Paula's investigation, that is one thing.
Could be worth another 50 gold if it's the right type of information on a good side. That was the agreement.
The agreement was, I have scrolls about me. If that suffices for payment, as far as your alleged 7th member. I'm a person. 7th member.
This will suffice. Xeris kind of looks around and gives you the eyes, which hopefully passive insight would say like
Are spell scrolls worth more than 10 gold?
way more.
Can anyone use it?
What's on the spell scroll? Yes.
Your options are tongues, tiny hut, or slow. I prefer to keep tiny hut with myself.
I was about to say I prefer to take the tiny hut.
Shouldn't have offered it, lady.
You did say it was
Listen, this is. I'm not good at negotiation,
I can
and when
tell.
hiring all of you for an investigative measure, I was not fully prepared to supply funding or reward outside of monetary gain.
Mara, let me say we're not. This isn't a shakedown. We're not.
It feels like it.
I understand that, and that's why I want to digress from that tension. You did mention this spell scroll. However, would it be okay if I borrowed it?
Give me a persuasion check.
Yes.
as the wizard sighs with relief. What'd you get?
21.
She looks back down to. It's like this leather thong that's attached underneath her robes that kind of hides beneath her backside. She pulls it back out and says, I suppose I could let you observe these, yes. And that's when you guys hear a crashing sound coming from the kitchen. Clatter, clatter, clatter.
I immediately run that direction.
Yeah, me and Stack also.
Still holding the scroll, like kind of looking at Xeris, Thalner, Stack, and Roscoe all clatter to the back, and you guys see a rather tall, elven-looking woman, hazelish eyes, chestnut brown hair pulled back into a bun, slamming the door shut behind her, and then casting a spell. Upon casting the spell, you see that like this stone of this door kind of like folds in on itself, and there's now no longer a door. And she turns back and she sees the three of you and goes, well. Thalner, Rando, Rock.
It's Roscoe, and that was really fucking loud.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Rando is just perfect then. First of all, if we're talking about volume, there is Rock here. As Roscoe takes a breath, and she looks back at Thalner and says, information. You said you had it. You've been missing.
Are you running from someone? What did you do?
Don't worry about me. Worry about what you need to know to save your father.
I'm worried about my shop and my
who is
friends
this?
that are in this building. Who is following you?
Who is this?
This is Thea.
Who is... Okay, sorry.
Like Salvo had like gone and opened up the door to the back of the shop and is talking
I
about
was this close to cannon.
I look towards Downer for direction, like, should I fucking get this bitch? Or...
Just who's following you? I know you. You're not clumsy.
No, not at all. And if anything, you'd best tell me what's going on.
If we need to move, the Justice of the Peace were already in this building today, looking for people.
Are you fucking kidding me?
If they're following you to my door again, we need to get the hell out of here.
It's not the Justice of the Peace. We don't need to leave currently. I'm pretty sure I gave him the slip. It's those... She, like, looks at you, takes an assessment, looks at the rest of you, and she says, those spiral-headed freaks. They're moving in daylight.
And they're after you?
Shame on me for trying to figure out nefarious plots within the city. Yes, they're after me. What have you found, Thalner?
How was Wygroff involved with them?
She kind of looks at you confused at first, takes a step back. My grandfather would never.
I hold up a letter from. I'm still at the table with
other side
Amara.
of him,
But I heard the commotion, obviously. Doors open, and I heard Salva ask who this is, the blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
I understand who it is. And you might want to look at this. And then I also say, over tomorrow, if I could just look at those scrolls real quick, I just want to make some notes.
She kind of undoes the leather strap, puts it up on the table, stands up and walks away towards the back of the kitchen.
And I stay seated, holding up a letter, waving it with.
On the way out, she sees you waving it, grabs it, walks over. Thea, I think you need to take a look at this. Amara Silverwine. Of course, I see the investigation of Thalner and the rest of...
Alright, don't get sassy. Read the letter.
She takes it, looks at you. This is a crock of shit forged by the council. A few moments pass. She's real quiet.
Thea, he's not dead.
Allegedly.
For those in the room, Jack, Thalner, Roscoe, you guys see a little bit of a gloss forming over her eyes. She folds it up, unfolds it, looks at it one more time, folds it back up. That son of a bitch. That son of a...
That is kind of crazy, dude. I'm sorry.
You... heard of you, don't know you. Why? And she just gets lost. She's literally like 1,000-yard stare right now.
Thea, was Wygroff involved with the Chromatic Spiral, or was he trying to stop them? You know him.
At this point, I don't. I really fucking don't. Here's the thing. This vision, this bullshit-esque parade of the balance of the three seals, that was supposed to be fairy tale. This was something that Papa Sylcress imbued into the family that inspired us to look further into the future as diviners. And this old man faked his death?
Sounds like there's some truth to it. Is it his handwriting? As I continue seriously writing down from the other
Can you
room.
verify that it's his handwriting? At least the other stuff it's going to take time to deliberate and time for you to process, but
19 on the dice. This is his handwriting.
We look at Amara like,
And Amara smiles weakly, nods,
oh yeah, because she's had some shit.
gestures over to Thea for the letter, and Thea looks up confused.
Yeah, hold up. Wait, why?
We need to show this to Zelgara.
I need Thea to show this to Zelgara and vouch for the fact that it's from Wygroff, assuming Wygroff wasn't chummy with the Justice of the Peace and they are intentionally helping him fake his death, at which point telling them won't matter. So,
Sounds like they're on her case because they could further do this. I'm starting to believe more and more in my suspicion as I'm furiously continuing to writing down multi-topic. I'm starting to believe more and more that the Justices of the Peace and the Chromatic Spiral are in bed together. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
now how would Wygroff be poisoned and dead and that investigated by the Justice of the Peace and it be fake if they weren't involved? Was he close with any members of the Justice of the Peace at all, Thea?
You're specifically.
She rolls a history check.
can do so at advantage.
You already burned your inspiration.
I'm kidding.
Can I give her the help action?
You can burn an inspiration if you would
I
like.
don't have inspiration.
Okay. She kind of looks very confused at the rest of you guys and says, "My grandfather was a storytelling, crazy old coot.
Yeah.
The only thing that I know about him that would implicate him to the justice of the peace is that they regularly came to the family to ask for future events that would happen. That's it. They literally just used us as scries into the future."
We're in the future of the past, are we not?
Who the fuck is this guy writing in a book right now?
So
asking
you're saying-
all of these questions.
They came all the time to talk to your grandfather.
They would ask him for counsel, yes.
Did you listen, or did they go in a secret room and talk about counsel?
The latter.
Okay, all right. So think about that for a second.
It's a possibility. There's no truth to it, and yet, but it is a possibility. Though.
And that seems to be the most likely outward situation for him faking his death.
Either way, we need more proof.
Either
justice of the
way,
peace
your
was
father's
on
on death row. For my grandfather's...
No, my father's on death row because, not because they think that Wygroff died, because they know he's alive and they need to wrap this up nice and tidy to prove that he's dead.
To answer your question, I'm the guy that doesn't have all the answers. But the thing about not having all the answers... I pause. You ask the right questions.
Very profound. Random wizard.
Excuse me,
The
I'm
name's
random.
Xeris.
Huh?
You can't be random wizard if I'm already rando. You're getting us confused.
Apparently you found my pet words. So, how about this? Instead of me getting so upset about everything, my whole family is a lie. This is basically what this is telling me. Because my aunt went off on a premonition to save Stonehenge, Stone Ground, whatever friggin' city that was, and is gone.
Was that in the desert?
No,
Okay.
it's a couple clicks north of Ironhold. Ironhold. Yeah.
Good question, though, Roscoe. Is anything about a desert to the... Is it west, I think, of here?
I believe so.
East.
Yeah.
Is there anything about a desert to the east of here? Did your grandfather ever mention anything about that? My beautiful...
Yeah. Shades Valley. He always mentioned that one of these metaphorical seals was held in Shades Valley. Problem: if my grandfather faked his death, like she spits, I've had dozens of family members die for his assumed call of expanding and centralizing humanoid existence without Levancia. My aunt's gone. My brothers are gone. His own daughter had left the city in order to expand the world. And this bedtime story of these three seals and being imbalanced and faking his own death for all of this, he's crazy. I swear. This man...
If I've learned anything about the Sylcress family at this point, it's that they are easily misled and power hungry. So I'm not surprised. But let's look at this objectively instead of letting our emotions take over. What is happening? He has faked his death and left. I need to free my father. And we need to protect Drakehaven. So we may need to look at him as an enemy. Can you do that?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck him. Yeah. At this rate, yes.
Good to know.
What do you need from me?
Sounds like you might need something from us based on.
I'm done talking to the person not in the room.
Hey, I'm talking to you. You're not talking to me. I don't care.
Can you
That's
point
okay.
out this desert place on a map that your grandfather always talked about?
Shades Valley.
Shades Valley.
Yeah, of course I can. She procures a map from her bag. Those of you listening and on stream, there's nothing on that. I have a map in working. Thank you for your patience.
Also, good news: if your grandfather faked his death, there's a good chance that the rest of your family members did too. So they're not dead.
That isn't.
No.
Sad.
I have been at an open casket for many of my family members. In fact, the only person that I haven't seen actually die is Valatha, my aunt.
The one that, yeah. Tell us more about her.
That she went and had some tomfoolery with somebody outside of the city that promised her a grand venture in expanding human settlements. Sure. Yeah. No. She's an idiot. And
That sounds real dumb. Who was this stupid guy she was talking to?
honestly, I don't know. I don't know why she was talking to him. I don't know why I'm talking to the rest of you.
I got you.
That's I get it.
I believe it's because you were looking for evidence on what happened with your grandfather.
Sure. Him being a jackass and faking his death, found it.
Yep. Wouldn't you rather know that than believe a lie?
Or you can, just leave here, go on your way, and be hunted down. You can get back to that if you'd prefer.
I would rather know that.
Can you do anything to put a forbearance or stay on the execution of Downer's father?
Amara speaks up. Thea, I know you're a bit headstrong right now. If you genuinely would like to implement justice within the city of Drakehaven, you will come with me, and you and I will talk to Zolgar. She looks back at Amara. Deep frown, just very upset.
I get it. A lot of good people die for the stupid causes and ambition of humanity.
Or fake deaths.
Seriously.
Sorry.
Shut up.
Okay, sorry.
It is a lost cause and it's stupid. I won't agree. Or disagree, I should say. But, what's done is done and people did what they thought was right at the time, so. Sorry.
Apology regretfully taken, as I'm not sure the intent behind it, but you seem genuine. Amara, please, let us leave here. Can't promise that I can be much help, but I will talk to Zolgara himself. And she responds, about that. Zolgara is leaving within the evening for an excursion into the swamp. So we should leave now.
What are they doing in a swamp?
You don't want to know. Hand delivering treasure and armor to a dragon, probably. I don't know.
Jack,
What?
we would never.
Okay, the soldiers march the armor and the weapons that they carry on their bodies, die, and then the dragons get to claim all the fancy loot. I don't know. They're delivered straight to the lair. I don't know what to tell you. That's just how the cycle goes.
You see Amara. You see Amara have like a. I'm sorry, that was so good.
Wow.
You see Amara, just very plain face, like almost questioning and pleading in a look with Jack, and he finishes what he says, and then she says, "To be honest, I'm disappointed in you. You should probably go see Vivi. Thea, come on." And Amara goes out the side door, Thea begins to follow. Lovely.
That's a new one. Today's just a day.
Yeah,
It's
today
just a
is
day.
really a day.
It's good to get it all in one episode.
Yeah, right?
That'll be
For
fun.
those listening, the DM screen crashed out.
It
but we
exploded.
survived.
Here we are.
You know why? Magnets.
How did it work? Thalner reaches out and kind of grabs Thea's arm on her way out.
I'm listening. Sorry.
Thea grabs Thea's arm kind of as she's headed that direction to follow. To stop her just outside the door and talk to her briefly.
Okay. You essentially duck into the doorway right before they close it, closing it behind you yourself. And before they start taking off to the alleyway to the north, what are you saying?
Thea, we're gonna figure this out, and I know I can only imagine how hard it is to be in the Sylcress family and deal with the loss of family members and the mystery behind a lot of it, but Velatha was proud and wanted to make her family proud. And though a lot of her ambition and promise of a grand future was stripped from her, she never gave up on it.
How do you know my aunt?
I've known her.
How?
I can't tell you.
She looks at you.
Maybe eventually, but she truly, deeply cared about the family and the promise of the family and its potential. And always respected that in her.
She gets a screwed up look in her face. A screwed up look in her face. That's probably the third time that I've said this episode. And you see her with her hands just kind of flaring out into the air. I need you to give me a saving throw of sorts.
Death saving throw. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you bitch.
Oh, did you just figure that out?
Sorry.
Okay, I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom?
Yep.
I don't like that one.
There's like a spell.
At least it's not strength.
Oh, it worked.
7.
7?
It was cast with intent.
Lucky number 7.
Okay, so real quick, over the table, you guys are unaware of this.
Sure, they're outside having secret.
Thalner, you now sense that the deepening of a detect thoughts is occurring. Prior to that, when you were discussing Velatha and her integrity and her intentions, what were you thinking on a surface level?
So, what Thea could hear in my mind was the voice of Velatha shouting, "I could have been someone! I had promise! I had an empire that I was building, but you came along and ruined it."
As Detect Thoughts delves deeper, that echo chamber within your mind continues to spur on. You keep hearing, could have been something, could have had this empire. She detects thoughts further, and you know that Thea is there in your mind now. She's standing with you in that room. You see her standing there, observing everything. However, you cannot stop this train. You cannot stop this occurrence of events. What is she seeing now?
She sees a very frail, battered-looking Valatha. Sunken eyes, just sallow skin. Clearly ill on her bed, but a furious, hateful look on her face as a young Thalner stands there beside her. Kind of looks up at Thea, being aware in this memory that this is being seen by someone else, and kind of resigns to that fact and motions to the memory of Valatha, and
she curiously looks back over at her, anger still in her face. Now what does she see?
she looks over at...
She looks over at you with some anger still in her face, and then looks back over to Valatha.
She didn't pass gracefully, but I can give you some closure that she did pass.
And as the scene kind of warps and melds, the two of you are still in the same room. Some of the objects in the room have moved. It seems dingier, darker, dirtier. We now see Valatha sweating in bed. The covers are halfway off. Her sallowness has now taken a gray skin to her tone. And a very small kobold stands next to the bed. What does she see from here?
The kobold's face is kind of empty as Valatha lays there, struggling to breathe. He, holds her hand, but makes no other gesture, and eventually hears Valatha gasp out, "At least I'll be done with you."
Fuck.
And a rattling breath, and she passes.
With a whirring sound, the two of you are now staring at each other again back in that alleyway.
God.
And she looks at you. Natural one?
This is cool.
And pukes all over the alleyway. And before you can say anything, her eyes grow wide, look at you, and she dashes off. And Amara, very confused in this moment, like, I'm gonna go catch her to try to talk to Zulgara. Let me know if you need anything, and dashes off her.
Can I talk to either of them before they dash off?
You can try.
At least Amara.
You can try.
I try and if Thea tries to word vomit dump on you, tell her to shut the hell up.
Okay. She turns back. You see her as she is going into a sprint. Slowly trots down. Hears you say those words. You kind of see a nod, and then she continues into a sprint.
Oh, okay.
Alright, did you guys need an escort back to... Oh.
And you see Thalner just kind of standing there alone.
Man,
Oh.
I got so much cleaning to do in this shop. This sucks.
Now there's some puke on the ground.
In the back alley?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you don't need to clean that up. It's the alley.
It's outside my shop, though.
Hey, Zeus, did you...
At least
you
need to
come get
wash
this
it
real
off.
quick?
Hey.
How much time has passed roughly?
About 10 minutes.
I need about 2 minutes.
He says, furiously scribbling into his book.
That's fine, we need to give this back to her anyway.
I mean, she left without him.
She did leave.
Yeah, you still have them in
So,
your possession.
what was the-
You actually have her entire satchel.
Hey, we're fine. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, that's right.
So Amara went chasing after her? Yeah, you guys are probably a little bit away from me. I'm literally like, they got a handle.
Roscoe is on his like 7th cup of tea, so if someone needs to clean up some puke outside, I got it under control.
Actually, you feel very highly caffeinated.
Wait, you got a message? You got a message? I can put a message outside. I gotta go outside anyways, because I was just telling me where to go and I'm gonna clean it up. I swear to God, that's the name of
How did you get 7 cups?
Man, I know how to chug.
I'm holding 2 of them.
He just,
Do you need another
Are
one?
these not shot glasses?
You know, before those Justice of the Peace barging in here, Stack, I didn't even get to try a cup. I've been looking forward to it. Do you mind if I have one?
Yeah, I still have one. Here you go.
You okay, Red?
Red.
Yeah, ready to move on.
Gotcha.
Man, if that grandfather's in it.
You got the coffee in here? I don't know if it's
You know,
that,
I could use a cup myself. And he kind of shakily moves to brew some coffee and goes through the motions and just kind of zones out in the process.
Do they have the letter? Who has the letter?
Amara
Who
and
has it?
Thea. Thea has it currently.
well, we still have plenty of dirty money, but how about we divide up this clean money?
Yeah, did she say what to do with it?
Where did they go?
We asked her.
What?
I just...
Oh, the ladies?
Yes.
To try to get a forbearance on the termination of her father.
Okay. Spencer's asking this because maybe I missed something.
Yeah, they said they were going to talk to Zolgara
Because he's
to...
leaving tonight.
Oh, I thought she was like upset and like ran away.
They were already
Yes,
leaving.
yes and yes.
They were already leaving, though.
So ran away,
when I
not
talked to
like screw you, I'm out, but like I'm done with this conversation and I'll go ahead and do what I was saying I was going to do.
Sure.
You did miss it,
Pop on
and
both.
Xeris also missed it. He would not have seen this interaction, but you as Spencer should know that the conversation was leaned towards Amara and Thea. We're going to take this letter to Zolgara, and out in the alley, Thea had cast Detect Thoughts on Thauner. Situation occurred. She freaked out and sprinted away.
Gotcha. Okay. Safe to say they're going to tell the powers that may be?
I think so.
Did Amara go with her?
Yes.
2 minutes are about up.
I guess I'll hold on to this for
I
now.
didn't even think about it.
I'm safekeeping. I'm not going to steal. I'm not a thief. From good people.
Everyone gets 10 gold and 1 platinum?
Yep.
1 clean platinum.
Yep.
Did she say what to do with them? We asked her, but I don't know if she answered.
The dirty ones?
She
No.
didn't.
We never asked them because
We did talk about it. But
we
she
talked
didn't
about them, but we
answer.
never asked how to make them clean.
Yeah, she got all spooked.
She was really quiet about it, yeah.
And then Cynthia showed up and caused a ruckus.
Salvo, Xeris, you were occupied. Salvo and JJ, give me history checks. Roscoe and Thauner were dealing with the Thea situation.
10
minus 1 is 17.
17. JJ, history check. You haven't seen Amara that frazzled before. When presented with the knowledge of that these coins were imbued or influenced by draconic magic or whatever, you have never seen Amara that frazzled before. And in seeing these coins, she explicitly did not want to talk about them other than knowing the source.
Well, whatever it was clear she really didn't want to talk about it. So I don't know if she knows more than she's leading on, or if she's afraid of what they mean.
I think she knows more. I think she made it pretty clear she knows more and that it puts us in danger she wasn't going to tell us.
My inkling is that she probably knows what they are, but the fact that they were associated with the other items has grander implications. I don't know. like, oh shit. There's that kind of face, I think.
I agree. This all points to that Y-Graph guy working with the spiral heads.
Could be a double agent.
Who knows? Maybe the spiral heads would really like these coins, or maybe that's what they use as like.
I don't know, man. I've you know, been privy to a lot of mutinies, and when someone gets kicked out, they might be the best guy, they might be the wisest, they might not want something as brutal as the underlings want, and that's why they kick him out. It doesn't mean they weren't involved.
Yeah, I think there is something there to his involvement with the group. The coins are pretty damning as far as like
Could they be?
a signal to a dragon that they work for or something along those lines. You know, that's what it screams to me.
I agree. It's either a way to signal a dragon, or could they have been paid off by one?
That's another good point.
Well, if we ever needed to pretend to be one of the guys, it'd be probably useful to have a few. Just in case. And then as far as keeping them goes, I don't know. Either keep them on us or keep them with Paula at the Grandspire. Maybe she could trade them out. I don't know.
Well, we were planning on, we still have those coins right now, yes?
Yeah.
We were planning on looking into the warehouse. We have the coins we could,
Paula. I got a mask.
and we have a mask.
We do need.
And I'm the legs.
We do need more information about the Chromatic Spiral. I think maybe if we handle this, even if initially so, as more of an information gathering event, I can make myself invisible.
No.
If you want to tag along, I'm happy to walk up to these fools all masked up and see what they know.
You know, I will say I'm pretty impressed with your acting skills, Roscoe. That was quite impressive.
Oh man, I joined a pirate ship when I was way too young. You had to act way tougher than you were all the time. You're always trying to stay on top. It's nothing new.
You are tough, Roscoe.
You guys hear outside. And you look out the window, and it's raining. The light from the windows you hadn't prior noted had dissipated. It's much darker in this room now. No lights, no candles, no orbs of light, and a very thick, heavy rain is now pelting the windows of this shop.
That is a perfect time to run some espionage in the rain. Most people aren't out. There's fewer guards. You can't see as well.
I press a digitation, some candles that I imagine might be around.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't
Give us some light
the
inside.
rain give away an invisible person?
I was thinking
I've
the
never
same.
been fucking invisible before. I don't know.
Rain falls, they walk, hit some bounces.
I've never been invisible before, man. I don't know.
Neither have I.
Me either.
Ask that guy.
Would I feel like it would not be beneficial? Do I think it may hurt to be invisible in the rain, still be able to be detected due to how rain would fall?
You are, as of now, uncertain.
I would feel as if walking around in the rain, whether invisible or not, one of them would be harder to see either way. So I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, yeah, just be more sneaky,
Yeah,
just in case. But it's also magic, so who knows?
Raining pretty hard. I mean,
just get inside quick. I don't know what to tell you. Alright.
Another thunder blast.
let's make way. I pull the hood up.
To the warehouse?
I get off of stack. I now no longer feel like we need to be doubled up.
Okay.
So I want to go shopping?
Roscoe.
I feel my pony cake. I'm still half full, man.
What is
Did you
shopping?
need supplies?
How many?
You may want to hop back on stack.
Oh, shoot.
The point is to disguise stack. We don't want someone else to see stack.
But I don't know about like.
Why not?
Because we don't want you to be taken by the Justice.
What
of the
about when I
Peace.
try and infiltrate the masked people?
You can probably leave him with the jacket at that point.
All right. That's a good point. I get back on set.
Time to be legs again.
Well, I mean, we could pick up a couple of things if you need. I'd rather you be more prepared than
I
not.
would, if we're going to a warehouse where things could go poorly, I would love a shield.
Well, the warehouse is over there by the dock area, I'm assuming.
It's not necessarily docks. The warehouses
Where the boat
are. They're on the boat parade is on the second most powerful river that descends the mountain. The warehouse are on the lining of the most powerful river that spreads out into the continent below it. You personally are uncertain of where warehouse 11 is.
It's enough. It was like a general area that would be. That's fine.
I would say Jack does know where the general area is. He would also generally know there isn't necessarily docks other than what boats do traverse the rivers attached to.
Gotcha. My vibe was, or how I pictured it was like docks and then put stuff on the. All right. Yeah, there's some shops in play probably. I just want to get that. Stop by. What did you need?
Basic shield.
Buddy Rax has an emporium, so I don't know, not to plug or anything, but he may have a technician or something.
He's a pretty good guy.
Is anyone opposed to me getting a shield?
No?
I'm not in any hurry.
It's a quick transaction, hopefully. No dilly-dally.
I grabbed some of those tea satchels.
Sure. Satchels?
What the fuck do you keep it in?
Sachet.
That's close enough. Some slack.
A twist of Thalner's robe and he sachets away.
And I also grabbed 2 cups of coffee for us to carry.
Oh, thank God. I dump it into my mug, or my flask, and then...
Still piping hot, you take a sip, as
Gulp it.
great as you remember.
And then you've seen him pretty
Toss you
grumpy the whole time, but there's just like a slight air of less grumpiness on him as there's like a small little smirk, just like
For the next hour, Jack, you specifically drinking this coffee have advantage on perception checks.
Oh, look at that.
Am I like immune to coffee?
Eyes are awake.
Am I still jacked up on my 7 cup of tea?
You're very
Forgot
jacked.
about that.
Not
He's jacked.
advantage on perception checks.
No, but
Jack.
like roleplay jack.
Yes, you are. You are amped.
You're Roscoe up. He's jacked up.
Let's go to a store.
You love it.
Or like, is the store next to that bar next door? Because that'd be right too. What
Keep
are you guys doing? Are we
in mind,
gonna go now?
keep in mind, Jameis. We want to make sure we're discreet as can be.
James tested out the tea shop and it was good tea. It was good tea. It was good tea. I want to buy it.
As we walk through
not
town,
You're
it's-
bouncing a lot.
Just the top half of the body is like Jones's.
Well, it's clear that us as a group, we are a little bit of a odd grouping. Maybe we should space out as we walk through town, as to not alert the justice of the peace. I don't think any one of us particularly are suspicious, but as a group, it seems we draw eyes.
Makes sense.
We can all still go to the same locations and do so.
James and Downer were already seen together, so
That's fine.
It's a great idea. I
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that far apart, just with an eye set.
It's raining.
It's great.
It's raining. Most people are focused on getting to their point B.
And I'll lead the way towards Rax's Emporium.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's only like about a block or 2 from your clinic itself. You guys essentially have your own personal clothing, close or not. You are spreading out. Okay. How are you spreading out?
I'm keeping probably 30 feet-ish, give or take.
Yeah, roughly
So,
movement, speed
we're-
away.
We're going the same way, but trying to make it look like we're not together.
Stopping, starting.
I would say it's alright if we seem together. We were already, just as the piece already knows that James and her were doing a deal, we're leaving the tea shop together. So I think that could work for us, kind of looking like we were talking, walking down the street.
Okay. Okay. For the two of you, Roscoe and Fowler, performance checks, please. Roscoe, real quick, your performance check can either be at disadvantage because of stack, or I will roll for stack separately.
Roll for stack.
Do you want me to tell you the result?
I would love to.
I want you to roll first.
I got a 10.
He has a -1 on performance. Got an 18.
Ooh!
So your
Yeah,
legs
everybody's
are very
good.
stable.
These legs.
Yeah, I got a 19 on
All
the die.
legs.
That was good.
I'm legs.
Great legs.
What'd you get on your performance?
23.
23. Okay, yeah. You two seem at first like Stack is following you more intently, just watching you, and you're kind of leading him on as he goes, just looking around a corner or two and just moving around. You guys are essentially pretending to move from awning to awning, trying to get inside somewhere. Very inconspicuous at the snow with all of the rain falling down. Roscoe, like, you're kind of wobbling as Stack is moving around, but like you just kind of grab onto his head, which makes him like hit a wall for a second, and then you let go, and then he continues following Fowler, and you guys stabilize, and you guys are kind of spacing yourselves out.
Yeah, since I'm in the front, and like getting there is easy enough. However, like if I see anyone, I'm gonna try and like take an alternate route around like Justice of the Peace or
Gotcha.
Paradise.
To no surprise, the area is pretty clear. In fact, the only passive perception 16, Jack, you only see any coattails of Justice of the Peace, essentially hiding within the awnings of warm hearths from inns and things like that. It's about midday. They're not. You wouldn't assume them to be drinking right now. Essentially, just moreover, just trying to get out of the rain. There is not a lot of foot traffic, and what you guys kind of give off at this current moment is just trying to get out of the rain.
It's like hurried,
Yeah.
hurried scuffling.
Yeah, and with the fact that cloak overhead, salvo shield overhead, Xeris close in tow. Not yet. Yeah, no shield. You guys don't seem very conspicuous at this current moment.
Nice.
You guys make your way back down towards the lower end of the city. About a half to 3/4 mile away from the warehouse district, you get towards the, for lack of a better term, the impoverished side of commerce of the mountainside. It's about 1:30, 2 p.m. at this point, and Roscoe and Fowler, you guys have essentially found a little hovel in between buildings to stop because you've lost sight of your allies. Not too long after, you see Jack kind of moving around a corner. Xeris soon after. They're starting to approach the two of you, and then you see Salvo coming up behind. Jack, you see Rax's Emporium about 2 blocks down.
Ah, we're here. Finally, it's just right up that way.
No.
A little dingy, but he gets the job done. It's home.
my kind of place and part of town. I feel way better around here. The other place creeped me out, man. It was all clean. It was all fancy ass people.
Everyone was being loud.
Yes, they own the place, Stack.
What is owning?
Like when you can do whatever you want with something that's not yours.
Oh, kind of like the orb in my chest.
Oh, I don't believe in ownership like they do.
Do I own the orb?
Don't talk about the orb.
I thought we were in private.
Are we together at this point? Did we make
Yep.
it and we're all together?
You guys
Yes.
are okay. I thought we were in private.
Not unless you hear special words.
The orb
so
is
even in
super
private.
secret.
Even
Yeah,
in
it's
private.
super secret. Because there could be secret spies.
I thought the stipulation was if we were in private.
But what
the
if
rule is
one
gonna
of
make
us was not actually one of us?
You can.
You see, like, there is a buzzing of his eyes.
I
just looking
click
at
my
you.
watch.
I yell,
Real quick, do I know what Malachi looks like?
Give me a history check.
Dirty 20.
It may have been a grand painting.
You,
I mean-
yep, almost to a T, you do know what Malachi looks like.
I click my watch, and maybe not to scale, I'm a little bit short, but I look at like Malachi in every way.
Almost like a short circuit, you see that his eyes like flare with a bright green. They're dark.
I whisper to Thalner. I whisper to Thalner. Tell him to open his chest. And don't say the code word.
He's got to learn at some point.
he's off now. You
You see the
He's
eyes
fine.
open back up.
Stack,
Mason Malachi.
I'm not Malachi.
Like blink, blink, blink.
And I need you to understand that concept.
If he were Malachi, what would you tell him?
Stack, what do you have?
He looks at Salvo. He looks at Malachi.
I need you to tell me what you know.
What's your spell save DC? Because that's how disguise self works.
14.
I have an orb.
No, man.
Stack,
Stack, you didn't say the code word.
The code. Oh,
Your
is this not Mal?
designation, remember?
I click the watch again and become Valner again.
Oh no.
This is a key importance of why we mention this.
This is why we like waffle butter.
This is why we say the word. It's also very tasty, yes. But
Founder, you lied.
exactly.
I did, and many others will. And we need to know that we can count on you, Stack.
What's ownership? What's lies?
He's like blinking, like profusely.
Technically, he didn't lie. He said, "I'm not Malachi."
I did
He did, but his
Stack is confused.
Yeah.
yeah, it's very like he rolled a 9 on the dice.
He lied to my eyes.
Voice said the truth, but my eyes.
You said you were not Malachi,
I did.
and
And you still told me the secret that we carried.
The Justice of the Peace could pull this off. There are many people who will deceive you. We wanted to show you as friends that you need to be careful. And that's why it's very important that you follow it. It's your designation to not reference the orb in any way unless you hear that magic code word, even for Malachi.
that is why we say waffle butter.
And don't
Exactly.
tell anyone that code word either. That's just for that's a secret code word.
We also don't mention.
You don't say it out loud. You only listen for it.
As a matter of fact, never.
You can see that like the blinking continues, but he does not say anything for a while.
You
I'll
understand?
let that sink in.
Yeah, give the boy some time.
So Stack, what was it about that orb?
He blinks.
Waffle butter.
I
Oh, my rock.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's good.
Proud of you, Zach.
I give it
A treat.
Thank you.
I click my little.
You can see in like the awning of this archway that you guys are kind of stopping before Rox's Emporium, the waterfall kind of falling down. Like he takes a drink and it kind of like spills off of himself, and he doesn't turn his head to look at you, just hands it to you. And you take it, and he just kind of steps out into the rain and just looks up.
Stack, I know you're confused. We didn't mean any harm from it.
He's just washing off the alcohol.
He doesn't respond.
He doesn't seem like Stack, it's okay. We're looking for Malachi.
Okay.
Are you okay, Stack?
Okay.
We're still your friends.
You're my family.
Yeah.
Aww.
He's not looking at you guys.
Yes, we're your family.
You guys all need to give me perception checks.
Don't hurt my boy.
Oh, gross.
At advantage?
Yeah, you are at advantage. More specifically,
Oh, it's okay. That's a nat 20.
nat 20.
Confirmed.
And a 3.
That's honestly like
Got that one out of the way.
that's pretty. So 11 for Xeris.
Because I was hugging Stack.
Yep, you were hugging Stack from behind. Give him a big old hug.
21.
21's very good.
21 also on top of stats too.
21 is very good.
Just a 14.
14's pretty good. And a natural 20 for a total of
26.
Woo! You guys are in this moment concerned about Stack, and moving forward, Thalner, Roscoe, Salvo, you guys, Salvo more or less so, like you're more watching the street. Xeris, you're very concerned. You feel like a not necessarily like kindred relationship to this person, this creature standing in front of you, but you feel the confusion and
That's what I'm related to heavily.
yeah, and you were just absorbed into that moment. Salvo looking around, there's not a lot of people moving about. A rat skitters by off in the distance. Thalner and Roscoe. It sounds mildly like the resonation of thunder, but it doesn't echo. The sound occurs deep and booming, but there is no echoing response. And Jack, you look up and you swear, dipping in and out of the fog, descending through the sky above the paling, blackened wings, far beyond the size that you should expect hovering above the city of Drakehaven.
I was like trying to dry my cigar from the rain, and I look up and I see that. And I kind of don't say anything for a second. I don't know who's the closest to me, but I'm like...
I think in this moment, it would be either Roscoe or Thalner or both.
Yeah.
What was that, man?
Tap, 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 tap.
You tap, 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 tap.
Now, did you say it was above the paling?
Above the paling. You guys look up as Thalner and Roscoe, you guys look up as Jack is pointing, and in that moment you think you see like a sliver of something disappearing into the clouds above.
Shit. I need to find Leo.
Oh my god. What? What was that?
You know what that was.
What was that?
I don't need to tell you what that was. You know exactly what that was.
How big was it?
It's okay, Stack. We are family.
In terms of maturity,
Your perception check was a 26.
wingspan.
Previous.
And especially being you assess this creature however high it was flying, it might change and manipulate your perception of it. From snout to tail, 60-ish feet in length.
Does this dragon look familiar?
Give me a history check at advantage.
Do I have a personal grudge with this dragon? Okay, history minus 113.
13. Please give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
PTSD.
Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
so my answer is yes. Oh,
Ooh.
that's really
It was a
bad.
halfling one.
Oh.
Yeah, so a total of 6.
Call that a human, too.
You, like, the character, or the player Brian is uncertain. The character JJ is certain and freaking out that it is the one you vaguely remember. And by vaguely, I mean this image of a creature streaking across the sky and hiding within the clouds is very familiar to you.
Vaguely, vividly.
Yeah, my face just goes like completely pale and like words can't come out of my mouth.
When they say Palins can stop dragons, like, do they mean it?
What are dragons? What are you talking about dragons for?
Zach's family.
Xeris,
What?
not to alarm you, there's something above the paling.
I look up.
You see clouds just kind of undulating and folding throughout.
Hiding in those clouds. JJ saw it for a moment. You know JJ. Is he normally like that?
JJ. Jack. Jack.
Nothing.
Snap out of it, Jack. I go over to him and I try and shake him.
You shake him. He like looks at you briefly and like the paleness gets paler.
Snap out of it, Jack. Slap.
Roll the hit. Unarmed strike.
That's a nat 20. No, I'm kidding. He's knocked out. No, I'm just kidding. That's a. Are we? I'm assuming there's a strength modifier, so I'm going to go into it. It's a 5.
All right. What does a 5 slap look like from Xeris?
I mean, not too different from a full strength slap. I'm not trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
Which is probably narrative of the 5 there. I'm just like, it's more like a.
Yeah. You
Like
kind of
a
like
wake up.
pat on his hand. Like
Yeah,
even
a
then,
pat.
still like slightly hurts your hand a little bit.
From the beard, just rugged.
I've been standing frozen, but my eyes have been following it. Like, is it out of like?
It's been out of sight. With the 26, you saw it fold and dip underneath the undulating clouds and then rise back into it. You haven't seen it since.
Wink at you real quick before it
And then I guess I kind of freak out and I like run and duck behind like a wall or an alleyway and just kind of like grabbing my gun and trying to find ammo that I don't have and like trying to reload. And just...
I would even say so far as like Rax's Emporium is like a block, 2 blocks away. Alleyway, there is a couple in between then and there, but there's also your clinic. Where are you going?
I'm kind of like fight or flighting,
Yeah.
but still kind of like
or freezing.
back in that time in history where I'm like, get down, get to cover, blah 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 blah, like
Yeah.
freaking out, just like ducked, I'm like basically crouched and ducked behind a corner, like getting ready to run or fight or whatever this thing is. Yeah.
JJ in this moment is borderline unresponsive to you guys.
Jack, it's okay. The barrier will keep us safe.
No, it's a deterrent at best.
What do you?
It's just a bubble of magic. It's if they really want. Okay, I don't have any more fucking bullets. These goddamn magic bullets, I don't know how they work.
Your gun will work. It will always shoot.
Are you sure? You're not seeing things? I say unsensitively.
Yeah, I
I
saw
saw
it
it.
for just a second. Just a
Oh.
wisp of a tail.
It's big.
But do you think I kind of take out some platinum and look at everyone. Do you think this could be why?
No.
Do you think that
Maybe.
Wormling might have
Do you think
been...
it might be that we murdered its child?
Yes, I think... I'm starting to think
Oh.
that maybe he was trying to make his father proud before we senselessly slaughtered him. And
I mean,
now he might
it's
want
pretty
his
sensible.
treasure back.
I think we need to get this tainted platinum in the hands of someone who really deserves it.
I like take my bag and throw it as far as I can.
I catch it.
Do you have like missile deflecting yet
I do,
as a monk?
I do.
Okay. Jack, roll to hit. I just want to see you roll a d20, add your dexterity modifier.
Disadvantage.
That I was about to say.
Disadvantage because you're disoriented. I'll allow that. Yeah.
That's a 1.
Could be worse.
That's a 5. So it's a 3 to hit. Sorry, it's not with my gun though.
Yeah, you're just
it's
throwing
at
it.
10.
So 10 total. Okay. Kindly remind me how deflect missiles works.
Technically, I gotta be hit.
Yeah, I'm allowing this though.
You can use your reaction to you can use your reaction to deflect or catch the missile
I'd have to roll
when
damage.
you are hit by a ranged weapon attack. When you do so, the damage you take from the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus 7. If you reduce the damage to 0 and have a free hand, I can then use a key point to then throw it again. But basically, if I'm hit by it, I can
Okay.
deflect or catch it.
So I'll go ahead and tell you this,
Automatic.
Roscoe. You can let it sail through the air and hit the ground, or you can use your new monkin reflexes to roll a sleight of hand to catch it. Your DC is 10.
I don't know, let's light a hand. Fuck. 8.
Roscoe's like, and goes to catch the bag that just slips between his fingers, lands with a mud splash on the ground. Rain just continues to pitter-patter all around you guys. And as you look up in that general direction, you hear, Jack? JJ! What are you? And you see a small goblin running out into the street, like just mud splashing behind him, and just reddish skin, missing a lot of teeth, a leather cap kind of now sticking further and further into his head. Jack, are you okay? Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. This is goddamn.
Buddy, no, come on. Hey, let's get you inside. It's wet out here. Let's go.
Do we see this goblin?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
What's his name real quick again?
Rax.
Rax. And so I reiterate to everyone else, this is Rax. He owns the pawn shop. Him
Oh.
and JJ are close.
Okay.
Let's go.
Come on.
Grab that.
Cirrus and new weirdos. I guess.
They're my friends. Our friends. Let's go.
Fine, whatever. Just don't touch anything. And he starts pulling Jack inside, albeit he is kind of wrestling with Jack a little bit. You guys all follow him?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, I help with my -2
Contact.
strength
Okay.
wrestle Jack.
Oh, maybe
What are you doing, Roscoe?
There's coins in the muddy street.
Yeah, you go and you pick him up, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, Roscoe kind of lingers behind as you guys are kind of following this goblin gentleman and JJ going into this emporium. You pick up these coins, and intuitively, especially in the conversation that you just had, you look up. Give me a perception check.
Everyone?
Nope, just Roscoe.
Oh, okay, my bad.
8.
Oh.
Just raining. You think you might see some shadows, but no, that's a cloud. Okay. Oh, that's a shadow.
I don't.
No, that's a cloud.
I don't need to see him again. I know he's up there.
And you continue following the rest into the group. Making it into now, like, past the folded leather hybrid cloth flaps that kind of make a barrier to the entrance of the shop. You guys walk in, and it's immediately warm. It smells delicious in here. Flavors of garlic and clove and a bit of thyme just kind of burning in the back of your nose, and you guys see 2 less than 2 feet tall goblin children just kind of running in and being like, "It's Uncle Jack! It's Uncle Jack! It's Uncle Jack!"
Parents?
They're goblin children, so they're even smaller. Than they're tiny.
And Rax is kind of ushering off like your cloak and like turning you towards him and just kind of like slapping you in the face like, "Hey, not again! Hold on! All right. You mean to pour some alcohol down your throat?
No more alcohol.
No more! You promised me no more!
No more.
You're doing good. Doing good.
Fuck.
Who the hell are a lot of you all?
Co-workers.
Friends. Oh.
It's 2 different answers.
I don't know these guys.
Hey, serious?
I think it'd be 2 things.
Hold on, I'm not asking you anymore. Who are these people?
We
Serious?
are colleagues. Yes, we're a part of the team.
And why the hell are you guys freaking him out like this?
It's not us. It's hard to explain.
I believe there was a trigger for his PTSD.
That could take a while.
Crouch in the corner.
Sucking on your thumb.
Listen,
I'm trying to click my lighter and it's just not.
We actually were headed here. This was our intended destination, but I think a loud thunder crash kind of maybe brought back some sore memories.
Sabina! He calls out, and not too long later, a goblin woman, nicely dressed, looks like she kind of stitched together her own clothing, but kind of on par with some of the higher fashion that you've seen in the upper parts of the city, rolls up and she says, yes? Oh, not again. Hey, JJ, would you like a couple biscuits? Look, I'm not going to ask you again. I'm just going to grab you and just joke.
Comply hesitantly.
Are you? How? I didn't touch that. The screen fell again. Lovely. Anyways, that is kind of on par with the... I know. Cursed day, for sure.
It was a dark and rainy night.
It was a dark and rainy night.
It kind of scared me a little bit, not gonna lie.
I know, tension was high.
You guys see that this small goblin woman is kind of leading Jack off into the western side of a hallway that kind of veers to the back. Rax kind of hangs back and he talks to you guys and he says, listen, Xeris, I haven't actually talked to you about this either. I haven't seen Jack have that bad of an episode in, well, frankly, maybe 5 or 6 years. This one's going to take a while, and I have been doing what I can to take care of him, but Jack saved my father a long time ago, or JJ saved my father a long time ago in the war that had incurred within the city of Drake, nearby to the city of Drakehaven. The swamp was moving farther and farther out into the croplands, and we were losing a lot of resources. And Jack was one of the people that was within the Drake hand to stop this from spreading. And it failed. And I will tell you more, but for right now, we're going to get him safe. You guys can stay here and hang out for a little bit until the rain passes, but I need to make sure that he's okay.
I'm sorry, what was her name? Rex's presumed wife.
Mrs. Rice.
He said it was an S.
Yeah, Sabina.
Sabina. I would say to her, help him light up a cigar. I think that might help. as she wanders off.
Yeah, you don't get a response. They're kind of still walking away at this time.
I want to know. I've met Rax with Jack before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Xeris feels comfortable. How much information he would feel comfortable giving to Rax.
As far as like everything that you guys have experienced throughout the campaign?
Yeah, which I can just say.
Okay,
Brief overview, or like more so like what's going on literally with the dragon. Do I feel like it'd be safe to alert?
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
I am considering your passive insight of 7, or no, that's wrong person.
Yeah,
sorry,
very
10.
Oh,
Okay, what'd you get?
I think a 5.
Okay, your current insight is essentially telling you right now that some information is important in order to help Rax understand what has happened in the last 72 hours. Your passive insight of 10 doesn't necessarily keep you tight-lipped in that moment.
I just have no regard for it and more concerned about Jack. Is probably better
Yes.
to say it. So I just say we had a recent run-in with the dragon. It didn't go too well. Well, I mean, we killed the dragon. It was a worm, black dragon worm, and Jack just saw. Assuming you guys would have told me it was black dragon.
You also knew, or
Just a second
for the
ago.
wormling, yeah, for a second ago, I think that was lost in translation, but
Would have been said.
I wasn't under the impression that we knew it was a black dragon. We
yeah, you guys saw a
shadow.
tail or a shadow. You weren't.
Okay, yeah, you didn't share that information.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
And he just saw a large dragon over the paling. We are safe though, right?
Yeah, as long as the paling stands, we're fine. If he saw a dragon, not good. Wouldn't be the first time he saw one, if you catch my meaning, but let's all just relax for a moment. We're fine in the city. We'll get him to calm down and we'll reassess from there.
I don't know if we are. The way Jack put it. I mean, I know he's having a little bit of a rough time, but he seemed like he was letting it out, so to speak, and referring to the fact that the killing might not be able to contain this threat. And,
Listen, serious. I've been here my whole life. My father before me, the person that Jack saved, his father before him, his father before him, the paling has always stood. If a dragon was encroaching on the city, it's not making it past the paling. I will say that at the very least.
do you trust Jack?
Explicitly.
Me too. He seemed to voice pretty strongly so that he might not be able to hold this threat back. He was pretty adamant.
Cirrus, let me tell you a little bit of something about Jack's condition. He saved hundreds of lives. And without him, basically that mission would have been a bust. Nobody saved. And still to this day, he blames himself for others' deaths. It's not surprising that he's telling you that the wall will fall. It's not the first time I've heard him say it. So, let us be on. You guys are all soaking wet. Take your jackets off. We'll go dry in like the sauna or something.
I can help with
You have a
that
sauna?
actually.
Yeah, man. Like we got a whole. Hey, haven't I seen you somewhere before?
Oh, been in my shop?
Yeah, you own the tea shop right up front.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
what's
think
going
I
on?
recognize you. Shop's closed. Tyler got arrested, and
I heard about that.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
working on it.
He's framed.
Well, I Hey, yeah, we got a sauna. Long story short, there is also a minor forge in here. We're not like explicit at building things, but we essentially take the residual heat and take a like type of clay flooring that resonates throughout the area. It rises the heat up through the area, and there's a catcher of moisture above the rocks and stuff. It's great. It's lovely.
Awesome.
You see Salvo like lean in, interested now. It's like backstory about JJ. It's very sad, very sad. But who's Forge now?
Oh yeah. I mean, like not something. Oh shit! Yeah, you look like you got stability as it. Looks like you got some capabilities there. Yeah, there is a forge if you want to use it. It's not fully decked out for blacksmithing or anything like that, but.
Rax would notice that Salvo was actually dry when he turned over to her. I prestidigitation to everyone dry.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, well, and
I told you I learned a little bit of tricks when I first came back here before we headed to the tavern.
yeah, you're right about that. You kind of see him like kind of shrug and shake his head a little bit and pull out like a cigar from the folds of one of his apron and like light it. And
Still interested in that sauna though.
yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go take a breather.
Just in case we're not here. In case anyone asks.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, duh.
All
No
right.
one's ever
Who was here?
Sketchy pawn shop, clear.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys all come. Golem too. Sailor looks like he's got some stories. Go get a drink.
You're just speaking everyone's language right now.
I definitely want a drink, but I heard something about a forge that me and my buddy should. We should check out.
But you're okay.
Character development.
We should check the forge out before the drinks.
Zeus is like, Roscoe.
But definitely, I mean, we will have
As he takes
we'll
a
have
drink.
some drinks later.
So Salvo is, very stoic, unlike Lane. Lane, I'm very much not. But yeah, you actually see a little eyebrow raise from Salvo, like.
That's a lot of expression.
Fowler kind of like sees it and shivers a little.
And you see Rack
rock eyebrow.
like very pockmark. Like the pores in his skin are like very large. There's a little bit of sweat coming from like the heat of this room, and he's like, "Don't know what just happened, but let's move on."
One more thing, real quick. My friend Salvo here was looking for a shield, and I know he has some here.
Just put it on Jack's. Not tab. Yeah, it's. I'll get you a shield. Don't worry about that.
I love this place.
I wink over at Salvo.
Me too.
With that, we're gonna go ahead and end session.
In the sauna.
Not in the sauna quite yet.
On the way to the sauna.
On the way, like kind of having this strange interaction.
It's probably attached to the forge. You know, the heat. We use the heat from the forge to heat the sauna.
I will pour water on the floor of the forge and make a sauna.
The sauna is fueled by the forge.
I know.
And
I
it
just want
is
to be
raining
sitting.
and humid outside, which makes it extra steamy.
Yes.
Speaking of extra steamy, I love you guys for watching this and listening to this. Thank you so much for being a part of the Scales of Fate in the unfolding of our adventure. Is there anything that you guys would like to say before we close?
Join our Discord. It's been really fun. We've been sharing a lot of teasers for new stuff that we have going on and pictures of our pets and memes and stuff, and it's been really cool to get to meet new friends and hang out with new people and stuff. So join our Discord.
Tell us what you like.
It's hot like a sauna.
Yeah. Metallurgy or fiber arts? What's more important?
Oh, that is a
important discussion.
very important
happening.
question. Yeah.
I have firm opinions on that.
You
Anyways.
know why?
Your opinions
Join our
are
Discord.
You mean soft, floppy fabric opinions?
Waving opinions that are fluctuated by wind?
Hey, my opinions
Join our
were...
Discord to find out our opinions.
Alright, yeah, you're right.
Spoilers, I have opinions.
Alright, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching Scales of Fate, and we will see you next week, Monday, 8 p.m. CST. And have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Oh no, the entire stream deck is upside down from that last